Welcome back, Uncut show. My hair is looking short and that, but I don't like it, so I'm wearing a hat. Falcon and the Winter Soldier was out today, episode 5. One episode left. There's a lot. It was a good episode though.
It was decent overall. It started out, oh my god.
Good action scene, man. Good action scene. Yeah, the action was good in this episode. I'm not gonna lie, I think this is probably my favorite episode so far.
I'd say it's up there. I think I liked episode 3 more, but I have a feeling that 6 is going to instantly become my favorite.
The reason I liked this episode was because we actually got Falcon and the Winter Soldier, you know, like
beating John Walker's ass.
Sam was wearing Sam was wearing the Falcon uniform and Bucky went Winter Soldier on John, and do you know what I mean? Like there was actual, and also the team dynamic here is way better. It's finally feeling like they're a team a bit. You
get the bromance more in this, like when they're fixing the boat. Like it doesn't feel like they're just together because they have to be. They're together because they want to be.
That was one of my favorite bits of the whole thing, right? Was that whole sequence where they weren't doing superhero stuff and they were just fixing the boat. And Bucky, he brings Sam like something from Wakanda. We'll talk about that in a minute. And then they just end up fixing the boat together, and like Bucky's flirting with Sam's sister and shit.
Oh my god, that is one of the funniest quote. Like that was one of the funniest lines of the MCU. Do not flirt with my sister, or I'll get him to cut you up and feed you to the fishes. Yeah, and then he does it anyway. I was like, this is the bromance we've needed.
Bucky don't care, but it was a really good episode. We also got a really good like extended sequence with Isaiah, which was nice because I kind of thought like, oh, he was really underutilized, and then it came back to him, so I was like, oh, okay, that's good. And we got more of his like backstory, and he said something really interesting. Again, like they've done good with race in this show. I think like they've been.
Can I just like quickly before you jump in on this, right? I've sent a couple of these to you, Gia, so you probably know who I'm on about. But there's this TikToker who's called Straw Hat Goofy. Basically, he's I don't know if you know his name, but you know the guy with the beard that talks about the game, the show that I sent you. Like, yeah, him. Basically, he gets a load of stuff in his comments where he's basically got white trash human beings basically saying this show isn't about race. And then this episode fully just I'm like, you're all assholes. Like, you watch this episode and it bunkers down, like, because he's like, even, I was about to say Sebastian, but I was like, nope, that's his real name. Bucky literally goes, neither of us knew what it would be like to be a black Captain America.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I was gonna move on to that, but yeah, the show isn't necessarily, they've not made the show to talk about race necessarily, but they're talking about race on the show. Like, I don't get why that's an issue for people, you know. I don't get why that's hurting people's feelings. Like,
yeah, it's also like people saying that John Walker isn't a supremacist when Zemo's like, if people take the serum, you can't separate supremacist ideals from the super soldier serum. Like, it's just...
Well, that isn't true though, is it? Look at Steve.
Yeah, but he does say in the last episode that Steve is the exception, but everybody else that's taken it can't separate it from supremacist ideals.
And that is true. And that is because does Bucky have the serum? Just
Bucky didn't get the opportunity to choose. Like, he was forced to take it. That's why Zemo says in this episode today, I've chosen not to kill you.
No. I wasn't saying he was a supremacist. I was just thinking like,
I know what you mean. Yeah, but he didn't get the choice. He's had it.
And I was like, oh, that makes him super strong. But then he also is like a super soldier. But yeah, that whole extended sequence with Isaiah I thought was really, really good. And I really liked the bit where he was like, do you really think the world would accept a black Captain America? And then he said something like, no self-respecting black man would even want to be Captain America. Something like that. And I was like,
yeah,
damn, bro, like, what the fuck? And I thought, that's kind of fucked up. Like, I hope Sam don't take that to heart. And then Sam kind of did take that to heart, and he was like a little bit hurt by it. But then later on in the episode, they kind of circled back round to it because Sam's nephews were playing with a shield. So it was like, and Bucky saw it, and it was kind of like, okay, like, obviously black kids do like Captain America. Like, what was Isaiah talking about? And then Sam goes through his whole training montage of like using the shield and blah blah.
I'm sorry, that is one of like that's an incredible montage. That
I
is
don't like the montage, but that was a good montage. And then it was just like a brief like 2-second shot, but it was really good. We got one of Sam's nephews like looking up to Sam with the shield and like tracing along the shield, and I thought that's really powerful. You know, it's like going back to that conversation you had with Isaiah, like no self-respecting black man, I want to be Captain America. And then Sam's like, no, I do want to be Captain America. Like, I am a self-respecting black man and I should be able to be Captain America. And I just thought that was a really cool, like, just a nice message. And I think there is a lot of like in the MCU sort of fandom, yeah, especially like with me, right? Like when they're like, oh, we're gonna change the hero, I'm like, oh, but the actor that played them originally. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This show has made me think, actually, like maybe I won't mind Chris Hemsworth not being Thor anymore, for example, and it being passed to somebody else, because they've handled Captain America mantle so well, and like passing it over to Sam. And also there were moments in this episode where I was like, oh my god, are they gonna fucking pull a fast one and give the shield to Bucky?
Oh, yeah. I had a couple of times where I felt that Bucky was just gonna finesse the shield and run away.
Nah, I didn't even think he was gonna finesse. I just thought Sam was gonna like give it to him, and I was like, what is happening? Because there's bits like that John Walker fight scene where they're fighting and they throw the shield and stuff. Like, it's kind of like that Captain America, Iron Man, and Winter Soldier fight in Civil War, where like Cap throws the shield and then Bucky will catch it and then he'll hit, and it was kind of like that between Sam and Bucky, but not quite as cohesive. And I really like that dynamic.
There's also the bit right by the end of the episode where Sam and Bucky are having that conversation and they're just throwing the shield and it's going to and from each other.
Yeah.
Where I was like, I think that was the bit where they were like, I have a feeling that for a long time they didn't know who was going to take the shield. Like the writers themselves, like that. I feel like that was a very, very long debate, and that's why they had that little sequence of like, even we were debating who's this going to go to.
Maybe, because that bit of them passing the shield backwards and forwards in the training bit is nice, but then Bucky is quite different. Like Bucky's doing that to help Sam train, and I liked the bit where he says, like you were saying, me and Steve could never have known like what it would be like to be a black Captain America, and I apologize for
I thought that was mental.
Like, dick, like,
yeah,
going on at him, and I thought, oh, that's a good point. Like, fair play. I'm glad that he saw.
Bucky apologized. Like, I was like,
moment.
Yeah, I was like, wait, what? Has he ever done this before? Has he ever admitted he's wrong? Like,
and you know what? I feel like up until that exact point, I liked Bucky, but now I'm like very much invested in his character and I actually care. Like before, I was like, okay, he's cool. Now I'm like, oh, he's got emotions, like he feels, and I like him more now, and I'd actually like a Bucky standalone movie.
I agree. Yeah, I actually do agree. I would be curious as to where they would take it, but I definitely think that would be decent.
Yeah, true. Actually, I don't know what they'd do with that, but it would be cool. I want to see the show as well.
Oh yeah, I absolutely do. Also, there's the thing that I don't know if it's a callback, but it feels like it's a callback. You know the therapy scene a couple of episodes back? You know the bit where Sam's telling Bucky what he needs to do? Like, in that same sequence where they're throwing the shield around. I feel like that was them showing that, like, their relationship has evolved, that they don't need the therapist anymore. I was like, oh, this is some great storytelling.
In just this episode, there was some sick moments. Like, when the book that Bucky's been using the whole time, right? I thought that was his own book, but no, it's Steve's book. And I was like, oh, that was Steve's book. I had no idea. And like, even Sam, like when Bucky says that, even Sam like lets out like a little laugh, because obviously Sam's the first time we as an audience experience Captain America's book. Like in you remember in
Winter Soldier, it's the Marvin Gaye thing, isn't it, where he writes it in the book? Yeah.
Oh, I think Cap references it before actually in Avengers. He says, "Oh, I'll add it to the list" or something. But that's the first time we see the book, and then we see it again. But
on that subject, right? I feel like they missed a great little joke they could have made. You know, in the montage bit. Oh, drop my hair, man.
On your left.
On your left, yeah. When he runs past the two little boys, I was like, he just didn't do it. I was like, no.
Waiting for it, man. I was waiting for it, but it didn't happen. I was like, okay, it's fine. It's okay. Like, I don't mind it. But
just slowly starts crying inside.
yeah, I was like, but oh yeah, should we address the cameo thing?
To be fair, we don't know much about it, do we?
Yeah, we don't.
I'm assuming, but like, I don't know.
I did a quick Google on that. Everybody was on about, oh my god, it's gonna be Daredevil, it's gonna be Kingpin. It's none of them people. It's literally nobody.
No, I think what they're saying is Kingpin will be the power broker. That's the rumor that's going around.
No. So I know you don't use Twitter much on it, but basically on Twitter, everyone's been saying that in episode 5 there's meant to be this big character reveal. And it's a character that we've never seen before, and that character is the lady I was telling you about before. Let me get her name up because it's a really long name.
It is so long, isn't it? Well, I can't remember it.
Allegra de la Fontaine. So she's Italian, doing us proud, and she is a member of SHIELD in the comics. So in SHIELD, she is a member of SHIELD. She becomes one of SHIELD's leaders, and she is also Nick Fury's lover, which is
Brown chicka wow wow chicka wow wow.
Go that route in the movie. Kind of feel like maybe not.
No, I have a feeling that she's just going to be the harbinger for US Agent. Like I mentioned this to you before, I have a feeling like now John's been kicked to the ground by the American government. He's just he does become a US Agent. Like we know he becomes US Agent. And she's going to be the one that basically tells him to go around and do stuff. Also, there's something that I've realised that's a surprisingly annoying continuity issue for me. You know when John walks out of the courtroom when he has the massive argument and it just shows that he's gone psychotic from the super serum because he starts shouting at the people that have made him. They say, oh yeah, give us back the shield. Never gets brought up again that he doesn't have the shield.
It does. She says to
Oh
him,
yeah, no, I know she mentions it, but in like the government, there's never any they don't try and find out that Sam has it. Like Sam's just there building a boat when they if it's a shield, they should it's the shield. They should be coming to get it.
They kind of explain that away with her. She goes, oh, just so you know, little technicality, it's not actually government property. So I feel like that was their writers trying to explain it away,
It was cheap. I would say that.
Oh, fair play. I didn't think about it too much after that, but no, I get what you're saying. Like that would be a bigger issue in the MCU that they would.
Yeah, I'm like, it's Captain America's shield. You can't just go, oh, John doesn't have it. Oh well, it is what it is.
Quite a big deal. Yeah, no, definitely. So yeah, no, I feel you.
Shall we talk about the probably the most confusing part of this episode?
I'm confused as to what you're on about, so shoot, yeah, go for
the fact that Carly goes full terrorist.
Oh, fuck, man. Yeah, this just really cemented that I don't like a character, to be honest with you. I think it's just a problem with... I've come to the conclusion, I was thinking that maybe it was the actress. It's not the actress, it's just the way the role has been written I'm not a big fan of. Because
I get why she's there, but she needs to back off now. It needs to be John versus Sam and Bucky.
Yeah. Well, see, I thought her performance in this episode was actually good. I was saying last episode, I didn't like the way her lines are delivered. Still don't love it here, but I thought, oh, okay, she's better in this episode than she was. But then her character is just flip-flopped between phases, of villainy way too quick. And to me, it don't really feel earned. What even happened in this episode to make her full on evil?
The GCU emptied out that camp, didn't they?
Is that it?
That's literally it. They empty out the the place, and then she starts flipping out about all the people that have died, just like that. After last episode, being willing to talk to Sam, now she's become a full-on terrorist. Because by the way, for anyone that doesn't know, she's planning on bombing basically the Marvel equivalent of the G6 in the real world. She's in middle of New York. It's just pathetic. I don't understand how she goes, like you said, she's flip-flopping from emotion to emotion. It's just...
Yeah, I just think You know what it is as well? I think this series has been too short. I think they should have had 8 episodes because they're trying to cram a lot in. And this isn't a criticism of the episode. This is more a criticism of the series as a whole. Like, they're trying to cram in Sam and Bucky's relationship. Then I saw on Twitter like the other day that people wanted more about Sam's past, about losing his mate. Which I thought, yeah, maybe that should have been explored here. But I'm not as bothered about that because...
I think that will happen when he's Cat.
I think after WandaVision, people were really expecting like this series to like deal with grief also for some reason, and I'm like, no, that was never going to be the show. Like, look at the trailers, you know, like.
I get why it's 6 episodes, but I do agree with you because like I know it had to be 6 because they're trying to make sure it's the same amount of screen time, no matter how many episodes for each series. So like, even though WandaVisions are between 30 and 40, there's 8 of them. But these are between 45 and an hour, and there's 6 of them, and it equates to like the same amount of time. So I get why they've done it, and they're doing the same with Loki, I think. But I do agree with you. I feel like, especially, I think the only part of the show they have dropped the ball is with Carly. Everything else, I'm like, is really, really good. But Carly is the thing I'm like.
I partially agree. I think for a show called The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, there hasn't been a lot of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Like, I think their relationship has been okay. And it's only just now actually developed into like the Falcon and Winter Soldier, because they have that little bit, don't they, where they're like, oh, like we're 2 guys that had a mutual friend, but our mutual friend is dead, so now we're just 2 guys. And they were going backwards and forwards, and I kind of like that.
So yeah, it was really, really good. I think the thing is though, it's that MCU thing of like they'll call this Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but it's just setting up their relationship for movies to come.
Yeah, basically, and hopefully a season 2.
Hopefully.
But another bit that I personally felt like they dropped the ball on, right, was John Walker, the post-credit scene. Like, I'm just going to talk about that quickly.
Let's go straight to it.
Mid-credit scene, sorry. Like, to me, that mid-credit scene should have been part of the episode and not a mid-credit scene.
I didn't have a problem with it. It gave me Iron Man vibes, to be fair.
It did give me Iron Man vibes, to be fair. For anyone that hasn't watched it yet, basically...
Or missed it, like if you didn't know there was a mid-credit scene.
Missed it. John's obviously been stripped of all his titles and stuff, all his military titles. He's gone off and is creating his own shield, and he's like putting his medals on it and whatever. I mean, fine. To me, like that's quite an important bit of character building that maybe should have just been put into the episode. It's only like a 30-second sequence anyway.
Yeah, I do agree, but at the same time, I don't think it needed. Like, I totally agree with you, but I'm like, it worked fine as a mid-credit scene. Like, I don't have an issue with it. All I'm thinking is that shield is going to be shattered in 2 by the end of the last episode. Yeah, that's going to be broken and destroyed. Also, while we're at the end of the episode, what do you think is in the briefcase?
It will be a new suit for Sam.
Do you think it's a Captain America suit?
It will be a Captain America tech suit with wings, probably.
Do you know the thing I'm actually thinking, right? This is going to sound really dumb, but I'm thinking it might look a bit like this. Because it's made by... No, but it's in like the Avengers one, because it's made in Wakanda, isn't it? Because he said the Wakandans asked me to drop this off. So I'm like, it's going to be incredibly techy.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking... I don't know, I'm thinking it'll look something like that. Because in all fairness, I didn't particularly mind the John Walker style of costume. Like, I know a lot of people, I saw it on the internet and saw that loads of people had hate for it, but I was like, I don't actually mind. Like, it looks, it doesn't look, it's not quintessential Captain America, but it looks okay.
Yeah, I liked that it wasn't the same, because I thought, no, I don't want it to be the same. Like,
yeah,
Captain America, like, differentiate, you know, and
yeah.
I think it's going to be a suit for Sam, because as well, we know that the Wakandans have helped out OG Captain America before, because obviously in Infinity War, T'Challa has that where he goes, somebody get this man a shield, and then they get him the little weird shields, but it was still cool, you know. It was cool. Wait, do they get him the little weird shields, or did they get him the actual?
No, they get him the 2 little ones that pop up, and then he starts punching people. It's Infinity War, isn't it? So yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, bring them back.
Do you know what the worst part is? It's now you've mentioned Infinity War. My hair is a lot like Steve's in Infinity War.
Yeah, it kind of is as well. Yeah,
It really is. I've just thought about it. Like, oh,
like cosplaying. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, no, I did like this episode. I'm trying to think what else like happened. Zemo gets captured. That was sort of like a nothing key moment. I was expecting.
I messaged you when it happened, and I was like, I'm kind of sad, Zemo. Like, unless they find a way to break Zemo out, I'm kind of sad if he's going to be stuck in the raft for the rest of his like from now on. Because like, he's a highlight of this series. He was so funny.
It bothered me that they decided to put him in the raft, right? Because in the last episode, the Dora Milaje show up. Ao shows up. Bro, they were trying to kill Zemo because he killed T'Chaka. They weren't.
They were trying to capture him. They weren't trying to kill him.
They were even trying to kill John Walker because he was trying to stop them from getting Zemo, right? They were going all out. And then this episode, they were like, it's alright. They were, and she even said that cool thing where she was like, the Dora Milaje have jurisdiction wherever the Dora Milaje may be, or something that cool. I can't remember the exact wording of it. And then she was like, yeah, okay, we'll just drop him off at the raft. And I was like, what? No, take him back to Wakanda now. Like, what is this bullshit? Like, I didn't like that. I didn't like that. I think he should have definitely been took back to Wakanda, but whatever. I guess he will have to escape the raft at some point, and then it'll be somebody else's problem again.
Yeah, I'm thinking a Spider-Man issue.
Spider-Man issue. I saw some cool concept art for Spider-Man 3 the other day.
Ooh.
Yeah, with like it was like the 3 Spider-Men trying to stop, you know, the Spider-Man 2 train.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was that with 3 Spider-Men and then Doctor Strange coming out of a portal on top.
Hello.
Everyone,
I have the high ground.
Everyone's 100,000,000% sure that we're getting Spider-Verse. I'm not so sure, but we'll see.
I'm not either. And I love how easily we derail, man. It's ridiculous.
I know, it's fucking terrible. But
want to rate the episode, or is there anything else?
I don't know.
No, I think that was everything.
Look at how funny my face looks right now.
Can't even do it, man. Like,
yeah,
my eyes don't go up that far, Jesus.
I've got a lot of like excess. Do you know what I mean? Fat on me. But anyway, so we actually found out. We forgot about this bit, so we're stitching it back together. We found out that Sharon is evil. I was right. I knew it all along.
I hate this, man. You did it with WandaVision, and you've done it with this.
Talk about her being power broken. Because I said I thought. Going to be power broker. But
are you sure though? She might be. There's no mention that she isn't.
She might be. We don't know yet, but she's definitely on the wrong side of the tracks, or whatever British people say. Yeah, she's doing evil business. Yeah, and we know that because she gets on the phone to. Is it Batroc?
Yeah, Batroc. Yep.
Batroc. He's cool, man. I actually kind of like, but only because he speaks French. Everything else about him is really, really bland. The way he looks is like really generic, but
isn't Batroc the one from Winter Soldier? He's the one who fights on the boat. Yeah.
Yeah, and Cap beats the shit out of him.
Which is why I don't get. This is the thing. I don't get why he has an issue with Sam then. Because Steve is the one that beat his ass, not the other way around.
Because remember the first episode where Sam's doing the thing in the helicopters? Batroc is there as well, and
I missed that.
Oh, you didn't clock that?
I forgot about that.
Batroc's the main guy in the helicopters in episode 1 that Sam is trying to beat.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. So that's why he's got an issue with Sam. Yeah, I didn't care that he was teaming up with Carly, but I cared that Sharon was evil. I thought, oh my god, okay, like, yes, like I'm right. and it makes sense now because she has like access to satellites, all that cool stuff. So, Sharon's
I think she is the power broker.
You think she is then?
Yeah.
Swayed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like after the satellite thing, I was like, it's highly likely, and then after today, I'm like, yeah, she just is.
To me, now that I've got confirmation that she's evil, right? Or not necessarily evil, but she's like she's not necessarily good anymore, right? I've got a new theory. So I think if she was power broker, they would have confirmed it in this episode. I think she is just evil. And then remember the episode where Carly is getting on the plane?
Yes. Yeah.
There's a guy there. We don't get to see his face. He's just a silhouette, and he gets mad that she escaped, and he's like punching the air and stuff, right? I think he might be Power Broker. So I'm changing my original prediction. I think Power Broker may be male, and it's a character that we still not actually had a proper look at. Sharon is working for him, but maybe has ulterior motives.
Okay.
But she's
And
definitely...
I'm gonna, just because I know that I'll be wrong, I'm gonna stick with that Sharon's the Power Broker. Because but these predictions I'm always wrong with, so you know.
I'm actually hoping you're right, because I think making her Power Broker would make her so much cooler, because she's essentially not as cool Black Widow otherwise. Like, I know maybe that's low key.
Jesus. Yeah, I kind of agree, to be fair.
Like, Steve definitely has a type, innit? You know what I mean? Peggy, Black Widow, and then Carter as well. Like, fuck me. But
don't out a dead man like this.
Getting baited out here. But nah, I do like her. But again, because she's not been in loads, we don't know loads about her. So I would like for her to be Power Broker because it adds a dimension to her character.
Yeah, definitely.
Also, I wonder if she was snapped. Was she snapped? I don't remember. No?
I don't know. There would have to be some, like, Googling.
Another prediction, just to end off the episode, right? Another quick prediction. Maybe she's playing both sides.
Potentially.
And what I mean by that is, so maybe she's helping Power Broker, but she's also helping Carly. So maybe in her own sort of weird way, she's trying to stop Carly. So she's saying, like, yeah, go bomb the place, whatever. But then on the other side, maybe she's going to give Power Broker the information.
Do you want to know my my groundbreaking prediction? Next episode's the finale.
Nah.
You fully went in on that as well. You were so like, ooh.
Yeah,
right.
next episode, hopefully all the answers. So yeah.
Yeah. Shall we rate it?
So I'm giving it a 9. All that knocked it down for me was the end bit, because we got left on a cliffhanger. I do not like. Just want to know. That, and also Carly flip-flopping around with her emotions. All of a sudden, she's a terrorist. We know she's actually like a pretty decent person from when Sam spoke to her, so I was a bit like, what the fuck?
Especially with that being last episode as well. To then this episode to decide, oh yes, terrorism. That's my option.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? It's quite a jump. Like, like terrorism's quite a big deal. So yeah, that knocks it down for me, but I'd still give it a 9 out of 10. What are you saying?
I'd say 8. I think because the initial bit is incredible. Like, I think I don't know if I mentioned it already, but I definitely mentioned it to you. I think that's probably in my opinion, the best fight scene in the entire MCU. Like, just with the gravity behind it, and the cinematography is just beautiful. But just the second half just pulls it down for me. Like, I don't mind not seeing the suit. It kind of got on my nerves, but I was like, it is what it is. And then yeah, the Carly thing just annoyed me. Like, you go from reasoning with one of the biggest superheroes on the planet to full-blown terrorism. Like, not even small terrorism. Like, you're trying to murder all of the, like, main political leaders of the world in one.
Yeah.
Like,
which, now that we're sitting here thinking and talking about it, is in line with her character, because she doesn't like orders and shit like that, which fair play, but go from, you know,
one extreme to the other.
Terrorism. It's just a big jump. And I didn't like that. So
annoying.
That's all for today, guys. Obviously, we'll be back next week with the final episode. We're gonna have other stuff up as well, aren't we? I think we've got 2 videos coming up today, don't we? We've got Bioshock information coming up today as well, right? Yes,
we do. So it'll be this one and Bioshock in the space of today, which I will be putting together. So you know,
watch Bioshock if you haven't already. But yeah, that's everything for today. Thank you all for watching, and like, share, subscribe, comment,
all that good YouTube stuff.
All the stuff. And have a lovely day. We'll see you all next time.
Goodbye.